Visions of Mana is a game I got sponsored to play, so to keep everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. They put out a demo, and the demo was terrible. The demo was so awful that I played it for 5 minutes and was like, "This game sucks, boo." And then they said, then they said, "Hey man, do you want to do a sponsored stream of this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, just give me 1 second." And then I went and deleted that video, and then I deleted the VOD, and then I deleted all the clips of it. And then I went, absolutely, send over the contract right now. This game looks cool.
Oh, did you get that offer feeling the wind behind it? Did you
oh yeah,
feel
dude, it was like the next day. It was the next
foul
day.
winds coming right behind it?
Right?
Grab that bag and run.
Yeah, no. And then like I was like put up my schedule and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be playing Visions of Mana. And people in my chat were like, didn't you not like that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, "Didn't you play that last week?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. There's no video of me playing that last week. You don't even know you don't know what you're talking about."
Damn. Indie balancing the statue.
So then I played a sponsored stream of it, and unlike the demo, which started you like with all 5 characters like in the middle of the game, this one started when you start the real game. It starts you at the fucking beginning, and like you don't get slammed with 100 options right off the bat. And like, yeah, it's actually like a really charming little game that has a lot of options. And it runs way better on PC than it did on its demo form. And I was like getting into it. I was like, hey, there's like a real thing here. And then before my stream even finished, people were like, yeah, Wario says the whole development team that made it got fucking fired. So cool. And I'm like shocked Pikachuing like live. And I'm like, who is making the decisions to pay me to sponsor games to then fire the development team? What are you guys doing? What are you doing? The game had been out for like 8 hours.
Like, beat the backlog clock.
Like, still pay me, right? Because
beat the business shutdown clock.
Yeah.
Well, it does. I bet if your original video stayed up, I think it probably would have taken a while for them to catch on to it, and you probably would have been in the clear.
Oh, I was always in the clear, but I just thought, get more value out of it.
Well, that's wild.
Getting rid of all that shit I talked.
Make sure you actually get that bag, by the way. Like,
oh yeah, no,
with all that going on.
Because it's a third-party company that was contracted by Square Enix.
True.
Has nothing to do with. And like when I talked to the guy, I'm like, "Hey, I think the stream went well," and he's like, "Yeah, your stream was great." Crazy about the developer. yeah, that's nuts.
Mad, yeah. So that's
like that guy found out the same time I did.
Oka Studios is the name, and like all but a handful of jobs were cut by NetEase, and they left a skeleton crew on for the rollout. But essentially, it's so weird too, because it's like the game was announced 8 months ago.
Oh yeah, and it's out.
Yeah, and just dropped. The studio was announced 4 years ago. Right, and there was, like I just went back to look, and it was like, oh yeah, they announced it, and they said like they had 3 games coming, and then that kind of just turned into this one, and then they announced that one, and like it seems like the writing was on the wall from even back then, you know. So like this was a planned thing, and it was like get it out the gate, and then immediately, fucking shut that shit down. I
feels like
imagine
NetEase is very unhappy with their Japanese acquisitions. They're doing a little mini Embracer Group situation.
So for Mana fans out there, though, like, fuck, this is the first game in 15 years. Were those PS2 ones?
Well, there was Trials of Mana like a couple years ago.
Okay. Well, new entry then, I guess.
Yeah, that was a remake of Secret Mana 3.
Were those PS2 entries good for any
people
of the Mana
like
fans?
Legend of Mana? I remember disliking Legend of Mana, but people really liked it.
Okay.
Just not me.
And how does this new one fare?
It feels pretty good. It's very charming. It's very PS2. A lot of PS2 games coming out. Like there's a real like Wukong and this have like a real like okay, Visions of Mana feels like if Threads of Fate for the PlayStation 1 got more budget.
Oh, there's a fucking bull. with the two characters facing the opposite ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Threads of Fate. Reset the clock. Holy
Is that a PS2
shit.
game or PS1? I feel like it's PS1, but who knows?
Nice pull, bro.
You can't forget about Threads of Fate, even though like nobody knows about Threads of Fate.